Let's Get Down to Business is presented by Bravo, the marketing arm of Ash Brokerage Corporation, the practice enhancement company. All this week, it's our series on the transformation of advisors into CFOs. And on today's show, financial wellness through tax management. And with me today is accredited investment fiduciary and CPA, Levi McMillan. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Backroom Technician. Let's get down to business. Well, day two, welcome to the show, Levi.
Great to be back.
We're in your wheelhouse today, tax management. Well, you know, a lot of people say, Steve, I need to outsource this. This is not my wheelhouse. I didn't even know what a 1040 is. And I did a survey years back on the distinction between what is adjusted gross income and what is modified adjusted gross income. Right. And I gotta tell you, over 80% of my advisors that wrote me back to answer those questions and surveys did not get it right. So people are looking to a CFO to say, I know the person that knows the tax. I know how to play. And boy, after this whole Obamacare, capital gains tax, everybody's sitting there. I'm wondering, and I think people are wondering this today. Are people who are going to try to qualify for Obamacare, are those subsidies, are they based on adjusted gross income, or is that based on modified adjusted gross income? Because I think when we go to modified, there's going to be income pushed back on there, and then you're not going to get the subsidy. See, these are the things that people don't think about, and this is why we're talking about it.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many times we are sitting down with clients and the tax piece is just the driving force. I mean, it's even to a point of, well, I don't want to make too much money because I don't want to be in that higher tax bracket. And so what we try to always do is we say, look, let's not let the tax tail wag the dog, but let's factor in taxes into the overall equation of risk management, diversified investments, etc., because it's a huge part of the puzzle that we've got to be cognizant of and make sure that we're planning it appropriately because of all these new laws.
Do you do much diversification in tax itself, like taxable, tax deferred, tax free?
Absolutely. So whenever we put together a portfolio, tax deferred, taxable, non-taxable, we factored all that in and we look at the net impact of what's the net taxable return from all the different vehicles. So we look at it just like you said there.
Well, when I'm looking at taxation for clients, and it may not be the higher end clients from estate planning. I mean, we have regular. I just saw and looked through the provisional income test for Social Security. Right. I was so surprised, and I want to ask you about this. I was so surprised. I saw that the capital gains, which the number, I saw that at the bottom of what I paid in taxes, which in this case, in this example, was 15%. But the actual gain was transferred over to Social Security's provisional income test, not what he paid in taxes, but the entire gain, the capital gain trap for seniors. I was startled by how this actually then caused my Social Security benefits to go up.
That's right, because now it's subject to ordinary tax rates, and so you lose the advantage of the cap gain treatment whenever it's, like you said, trapped. And the fact that Social Security taxes are taxable is crazy in itself. And that just can happen if you're not doing the appropriate strategy. So you've got to look at your investments, figure out what areas or what tool out of the tool chest we pull out to invest this money so that we aren't trapping Social Security in money that's tended to not be taxable.
Well, when we're thinking about that, I just saw another client's portfolio come across my desk, and I noticed he called our advisor up and said, Steve, my client's going to talk to me because he wants to know why he's paying taxes on muni bonds, which he thought were federally tax-free. And I said, well, some bonds are actually subject to, right?
Yes.
That kind of income for well, wait a minute, AMT, the alternative minimum tax alone,
that's
much
exactly
less that income is going to come over, and I think it goes to the provisional income test. I'm not really sure about that myself, but I just that I noticed it, and I noticed that we're not looking at these things as advisors. Would you say as a CPA, most CPAs are reactive, not proactive?
That's correct. Absolutely, because they're their nickname is bean counters for a reason, in that they just are looking back at what's happened and then putting together the tax return or whatever it may be that they're doing for a client, versus being proactive and looking at strategies to solve and go in conjunction with the investments and whatever they're doing for the customer.
We have, by one of our carriers, a 1040 overlay. It's an excellent tool. If you say, Steve, I'd love to have that, that'll really help you out in some of the areas we're talking about. And it has an explanation that is really easy to understand. If you want that, just write me steve.savant@ashbrokerage.com and say, Steve, I want that 1040 overlay, and we'll go ahead and give it to you. You know, when I'm looking at CFO issues, it's a CFO's responsibility to pick up these tax issues and mitigate them in every way you can. And so if I don't have that skill set as an advisor, and I'm in with your solution team, do I have access to these other solution team members who are tax guns in this area?
Absolutely. And on another note, even if someone has a CPA that they're working with and they just have a great relationship, we'll just be a second opinion for them. So ultimately, let's say that they love their CPA and they want to work with us on the investment side. Well, now we'll review their tax return and work directly with their CPA with our tax solution team to make sure that they are thinking of all the different tax deferral and strategies that can help them out.
As a CPA, when you talk to another CPA, I mean, this is kind of like talking to the fraternity house, right? I mean, this is kind of, all right, if I needed to have my client's CPA talk to somebody and I felt, man, I just don't think I have the strength, I don't have the credential, I need to have another person that has that credential behind their name to mitigate and run interference for me. Is that something that your team does as well? Place another CPA to talk to this other CPA?
Absolutely. Because of our national exposure of different CPA firms, estate attorneys, we can connect because there might be a state that has a different law, not just the federal law, and so we do that all the time, connect them with different professionals in their appropriate area.
I think I kind of wanted to do a kind of a rent a CPA for a day, you know, lease my CPA out because sometimes we need it.
Sure.
When we come back from the break, we're going to continue addressing tax management as part of our overall financial wellness strategy that can position you as the CFO for your clientele and a marketing tactic for prospecting for new clients in your community. And don't forget, you can request any of our tax management strategies right off a backroom technician at downtobusiness.ashbrokerage.com, or sign up while you're out there to your free 30-day free trial for backroom technician. Just go out to their website, brtnow.com/trialsignup.aspx. We'll be right back after the break. Back in the day, life insurance professionals were called field underwriters. Then, carriers trained their field force in the basics of life insurance underwriting. Today, the insurance industry doesn't educate the agent population as they once did. But now you can have the Informed Risk Guide at your fingertips so you can illustrate a reasonable rate class for your life insurance prospects. Just request your copy of the Informed Risk Guide at downtobusiness.ashbrokerage.com. It's free from Ash Brokerage, the practice enhancement company. Well, welcome back. I'm Steve Savant with Levi McMillan. And remember, you can watch all our episodes of Let's Get Down to Business, including my weekly consumer show, Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game, right out at ashbrokerage.com. Just click on the show logo right on the homepage. And just a heads up, before moving forward with any of the ideas on the show, always consult your tax advisor or legal counsel as well as your broker-dealer compliance department. Well, let's get down to business. We're still talking about taxation fascination. I mean, most clients sitting there saying, I haven't heard too many clients, there might be some left-leaning client who says, I don't mind Uncle Sam taking as much as he wants. But for the most part, I would think that most clients are into defeating estate taxes, income taxes, investment taxes, Social Security benefit taxes in every way possible.
Absolutely.
So, and the paradigm's still there. Now, when you think about this, I love guys like you because you're going to sit there, not only, as you said in the first segment, you said tax diversification. Something's going to be taxable, tax deferred, tax-free. But I really think when you're thinking about this kind of area of taxes as a CFO issue, because this is a major issue, this is about cash flow. This is about what do I get to keep? What do I get to spend? I have dreams. One of my dreams isn't sending it to the federal government.
That's right.
So when you're taking a posture on taxation, we know we have regular annual taxes.
Right.
When you look at a person's taxes for the first time, and I've heard this statistic is quite high, I'm interested in your practice, how much next year, being proactive, can you save in taxes by doing just a few artful strategies that can bring that bill down?
Oh, it's amazing. When we review a 1040 or a person's tax return and go through it and look at so many of the areas that they're not even maximizing. Like, for example, they could be an employee and not maximizing their 401k contribution. There's different just basic deductions and things that they could be doing that they're overlooking or that they haven't been advised. And so there's really never been a situation where we can look at a tax return or explore different ideas and come up with ways to either defer or avoid taxes in total.
Well, when I'm looking at there's traditional softwares out there that a client or a consumer can get a hold of. They do their 1040. All it does is do the same thing that are very close to the same retro looking as a CPA would have, a traditional CPA.
Right.
But you're not a traditional CPA because you've taken on the overall canopy idea of the CFO.
That's correct.
Now, that's why I like, if I walk in there and I said, can I say this on a statistical basis, that the probabilities of bringing this to you are going to be high, that I'm going to save money on taxes alone. Not even talking about investment issues right now. I'm just talking about taxation.
Absolutely.
I mean, 80%, the stuff you see, 85%?
I would say it's between 75 and 80%. We see an area of where we can save money right off the bat.
So if I was trying to become a part of your team as CFO for life,
Right.
I'm weak in taxes, let's say.
Yeah.
I'm weak in I'm strong in other areas, but weak there. I have people on the solution team that I can partner with that can help me walk through the 1040 and then ferret out all these areas that I could really be beneficial to my client.
Right, and just to take that a step further, Steve, in looking forward, because we've done what we call a life plan, we're understanding all the areas and everything that's going to be going on in their life moving forward. So we know those strategies, we implement that into their current, I guess, tax projection, whereas a lot of different softwares and programs are just looking at historical and just assuming doing the same thing going forward. Whenever we're very proactive in their whole life plan, it puts us in a position of strength to really be proactive and plan for taxes down the road.
So your life plan, this is a kind of a process that the tax module is inside.
Absolutely. So a lot of financial advisors, just look at the balance sheet and the investment statement, and they don't factor in the whole tax ramifications, whether it's stock options, whether it's selling a business, whether it's deferred comp. So we look at the total picture, and then we have a balance sheet, a consolidated cash flow, and as well as an income statement that factors in not only the current tax ramifications, but the future tax ramifications, whether it's state, a state, or federal income tax, and we bring that to the...
If you showed that, I'm kind of curious. If you showed the client, this is the future taxation if you do nothing,
Right.
that has to be a monster motivator.
Oh, it is, because we're solving for how much assets do they need to build up so that they can ultimately accomplish their retirement goals. And so whenever you have taxes clipping away at that by not leveraging different planning techniques, it's going to take them a lot longer. Sometimes it can be 5-10 years longer by not just doing some basic planning to get them to their, the promised land.
Well, I love the sudden impact of comparing future taxation based on current solutions and strategies, and then you guys intervening with your team,
Right.
and then looking at those new numbers. I mean, I have to say, it looks so stark to me at first glance. I couldn't believe it was sudden impact.
Right. Absolutely. It's and again, that just gets back to the one-stop shop and having that personal CFO right there in your corner, handling tax matters, investment matters, risk management, and all the components that you need to be able to ultimately retire with dignity.
I'm thinking, because we're in the tax management section right now, segment, an advisor says, I love what you guys are doing. I love the CFO for life concept, but I don't know how to do the taxation. You'll have a guy for me on that.
Absolutely.
That I can partner with.
Absolutely.
See, to me, this is where you need, I believe in plurality strategies of walking with the right guides. It's more than just a study group. This is a proactive way to become the CFO for your business. I love that whole idea. Well, that's our show for today, and don't forget, you can read all my online insurance commentary, advisor blogs, and articles on Producer's Web, as well as my answers to consumer questions on the Insurance Library. And remember to view all our past episodes on our on-demand section located at downtobusiness.ashbrokerage.com. So follow me on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or just email me, steve.savant@ashbrokerage.com. And remember, you could be wiser as an Ash Brokerage advisor. I'm Steve Savant. See you tomorrow.